Bands and artists. We got to stop thinking that we should have been famous 3 weeks ago. This is really critical to our success. I've had Skype meetings and private rehearsal workshops with numerous artists and bands who always have the same thing. It's the same thing I had for years and still do a little bit, absolutely. Okay, so I get it. It's the wake up, totally anxious, freaking out, pit in the stomach about not being famous 3 weeks ago, not being rich yet, not being on the cover of Rolling Stone yet, whatever it is, that's waking you up as a 21-year-old at 7 a.m. with a pit in your stomach about not having made it yet. Well, that's an impossibility. It's almost completely impossible. So what you have to do is respect one thing, and that is the evolution of an idea. I've started businesses and bands and things where there's an idea and I'm proud of it and I think it's great and I start to mold it. And 6 months later, you know what it is? It's an idea way over here on a different planet, on a different tree, in a different ocean, way over here. It's a different idea completely. So when you're freaking out about, I'm not famous yet, this isn't working yet, it may be because it's not the right project yet. And that's okay. Because the lifers, the people that are truly in it to win it here, the soldiers, not just the weekend warriors, know that it's a process and it's going to take growth until you get to your stride and start to hit it and start to write the stuff you know is going to really work. I had a Skype meeting with a guy once who was so panicked about not being famous yet, and he was 18 years old, so panicked that he couldn't even sleep. He couldn't eat and he couldn't sleep. And I went, what are you doing? It doesn't work this way. And he's going, well, why can't I do what like Adele does? Adele? That's a complete anomaly, Adele. You can't go, I want to do what Katy Perry, Taylor Swift, Adele. That's an anomaly. Don't compare yourself to those people. You can't do that. There's room for one Adele every 8 years at the top. There's room for one of them. Ed Sheeran has that spot right now. You just can't do that, okay? You can get there, but you can't get there in 3 weeks. The evolution of the idea, you have to respect it. Here's my last thing to say about this. I've spoken to a lot of former athletes, and former athletes wish they weren't forced out of the game at 35 years old or 28 years old because they're finally understanding the game. This is all of them. They get forced out because physically they can't keep up or something like that, but mentally they're finally understanding and hitting their stride and going, now I get it. Baseball makes sense to me finally, and now I can't do it. That's the frustration. But in creative, we have the gift of life. We have the gift of distance and legs on this thing. We can just keep going and growing, and when it starts to work, it might be 2 years from now. It might be 6 months from now. It might be tomorrow, but it might be 5 years from now, or 6 or 7. But the lifers are going to stay in it, evolve the idea until it's something that's really going to work. You have to not panic in the meantime because you will burn out and quit because something's not working that didn't have enough time to breathe in the first place. You got to give it time, give it patience, be a lifer. I believe in you. You have to do it this way. Destroy the stage, leave no one alive.